So TikTok is for the wolves, and that means I'm going to tell you the most controversial D&D story that I have ever done, and that is true and actually took place at my table. The time that I made a racist learn and realize that they were a fucking racist using D&D. The year is 2016, and I am in Texas, and I am in a backwards part of Texas, a rich backwards part of Texas, so they really had no excuses, but a backwards part of Texas nonetheless, and I am going to community college, and in this community college, I end up joining the choir, and in the choir, I end up making a few friends. And I say to these few friends, hey, do you want to play D&D? It's kind of my thing. And they're like, oh my God, absolutely. I love D&D. Let's play D&D. Can I bring my friend Bob? And I said, yeah, you can bring your friend Bob. And he's like, great, because he doesn't have a lot of friends. And I said, okay, red flag. But we're gonna let Bob come. And so we show up to two friends' house, and Bob is 6'4", probably 300 pounds, maybe 300, 250. And could definitely like break my legs, and wearing a Make America Great Again hat, the red hat. He's wearing one of the red hats, and yep, I was a 5'3", 140-pound girl with a green bob. I had a green bob at the time, and I was like, okie dokie. And so I decided there and then that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into this game. Everyone's gonna make their characters. We're gonna have a session 0, whatever, and then I'm gonna bail. I'm so gonna bail. I'm not playing with someone who has a Make America Great Again hat. It's not happening. It's absolutely not happening. Well, then we get to talking and chatting, and somehow, I don't remember how, but somehow we get onto the conversation of a Hispanic girl who barely speaks English, who is in the choir. And she is actually a refugee from Venezuela. I don't know if you guys remember what was going on in Venezuela at the time, because I do. But she's a refugee from Venezuela, and she is going to community college to try to help. I talked to her. She's going to community college to try to help her mom so she can get a better job as like a typist and help her mom. And I thought that it was very honorable of her. But she doesn't speak English very well. She has a very, very, very thick accent. And also she doesn't have a lot of vocabulary. So we're just talking about her, and I'm talking about how cool she is, and I think I want to invite her and all this kind of stuff. And the dude, Bob, goes off. He just starts hooting and hollering about B-word, Mexicans, illegal aliens. And I don't talk a lot about this because it's not necessarily something that I think has to be paraded, but I am very pro-immigrant. I'm so pro-immigrant that I keep up with politics in Central and South America so that I can know whenever people need help. I have donated to people's legal funds to make sure that they're able to stay in America whenever ICE comes after them, because I had an experience where I actually had to hold a girl sobbing whenever she found out that her father had got by ICE. When I was 16, it was the worst experience of my life, but also the most eye-opening experience of my life. I have been very, very pro-immigrant my entire life. It is deeply seated inside of me. So whenever this guy just starts saying alien and just dehumanizing, just they're not humans to him. They are not humans to him. And I think that was like the thing that pissed me off the most. I was livid. I was so angry. And I really wanted to yell at this guy, but he could throw me across the room and I could do nothing. I don't even think I could reach his face to punch his face. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that there is anything that I could do to defend myself against this man. And so, and he had my phone number. He had where I go to school. He had my car. And so I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to leave quietly and then never fucking talk to these people again. Well, then I'm very pro-immigrant, and I'm also a punk ass bitch. So when they start making characters, he starts making his character. And his character is a lizard folk. He wants to be a lizard folk. He wants to be like a frilled lizard, which is cool and stuff. But he wants to be a really hardworking kid from a farmer's town who's just going out to make it and living the American dream. And my gears start turning in my head, and I'm like, oh, you want to go strike out on your own in another place, in another country, or with other people for a new life, and you're a lizard folk, you are now an illegal immigrant. I decided there and then that I was going to play this game for as long as it took to make this man realize that dehumanizing someone is wrong, no matter who the person is, what their skin color is, or if they have scales or not. So, there's a place in my world called Queldrum. It is owned and run by the Dragonborn, and there's a council. It's a basin. It's like a basin where like a meteor hit, and it's owned and run by the Dragonborn, and it's a council of 10 Dragonborn that run the entire country. So I decided to make it that lizard folks moved into the Dragonborns, migrated from being nomads to moving into the Dragonborns area, into Queldrum, so that they could, one, speak the same language, but the dialect is completely different. So it's really not the same language. It's not proper Dragonborn. It's not proper Draconic. And also, they moved there for opportunity, just like he wanted. That's what he said. He said he was striking out on his own for his new opportunity. So I decided the lizard folk were going to be Hispanic illegal immigrants, and they were going to be treated as such. Not all the time. Not all the time. I sprinkled it in there, but just enough to where it affects his gameplay, and it affects his mood, and it twists his mind. So I kind of explained what's going on to him, but not really. We get into the first session and everyone's kind of being rude to him and not necessarily rude to everyone else. He notices, but he's like, whatever. People don't like me because I'm small. People don't like me because I'm a lizard folk. I'm going to be better. I'm going to rise above. I'm going to and like all this stuff. Well, earlier in the day, he had told us that he had spit at some workers, like some workers looking for work that at the Home Depot. He had spit at them. So I had people spit at him in game. And whenever he asked me, why are they spitting at you? And I would tell them, the only thing that you can assume is it's because you're a lizard folk. It's because of your skin. So this goes on for like 3 sessions until he has to go. I remember this very distinctly. He has to go sleep in an inn because they're going to go on their first quest. They're sleeping in the inn to go on their first quest. And so he is told, we don't serve your kind. You have to sleep in the barn. He gets livid. He gets so angry. He slams his hands down and goes, why are people being so mean to me? I'm just trying to make a living. I'm just trying to make my way. I'm just trying to make a path. There is nothing different between us. We're both lizards. Why are these Dragonborn being so mean to me? And I looked that motherfucker dead in his motherfucking eyes. And I said, because you don't belong in this country. You came into this country looking for opportunity. So you're taking opportunity away from the Dragonborn. You don't even speak the language correctly. Why would anyone like you? I desperately wish I had taken a picture of his face at that moment. If I could bottle what his face looked like, I would drink it every single day. It was the most beautiful, what the fuck, gears turning into, oh, this is how I'm treating other people. It's because I'm an illegal alien. I am an illegal alien. He got it from the table and muttered, that's enough D&D for me. And then walked away, walked to his truck, got in the car and drove. The 3 other people at the table have no idea what's going on. They're all just super enthused about playing D&D for the first time ever. And they're like, oh my God, what happened? And I explained to them, I made him be treated like an illegal immigrant because he decided to play an illegal immigrant. The race that he chose is illegally in Queldrum. And I just explained the whole thing. And they look at each other and they're like, oh shit. Oh, okay. And so I go home. But it ends up dying. It just ends up dying. But 2 days later, this man texts me because he has my number. He texts me and he says, that's not what I sound like. That's not what I sound like. And I messaged him back and I told him, when you were spat at, it was because you had just said that you spat at illegal immigrants. When you were told you get to sleep in the barn, it was because you told me that you wish that illegal immigrants didn't have beds because they don't deserve beds in the detention facilities. You say these things. You treat people like this. This is what you're doing. He said something like, I can't believe this. And then blocked me. I know that I said that a guy coming out at my table, like the first time ever coming out at my table, was my crowning achievement as a dungeon master. But I think really, I look back on that moment and I look back on how I handled the situation, and I am just so proud of myself, because I could have walked, and I should have walked, to be completely honest, but I decided to use the tools that I had at my hands to educate. And I don't know if that guy stopped being a racist. I don't know if he doubled down on it. I have no idea. But what I do know is that he now knows what he's doing. And every time he treats someone like that, he'll feel that pain right back at him. And that is good enough for me. Love you, TikTok. Follow me elsewhere.